a play action pass. Oh, he's got a man open. He's got him. Touchdown UTS.
Hello and welcome to Campbelltown Stadium. We've got a great day of sports for you today. 3 games. We're just going to start off with the Gators and the Ducks. This is the Colts game, so going to be a great game.
Yeah, it's going to feature 2 hard-hitting teams. Both rely on physicality on both ends of the ball. Like Sam said, we're going to have the UTS Gators, you can see here, getting their pregame huddle going. UTS relies on the physicality of their defense, one of the better defenses in the Colts division, and they certainly rely heavily on that.
These 2 played earlier in the season with the Gators coming out on top. The Gators also did finish top of the division, and the Ducks came second, so it's going to be a real good matchup of a 1 seed versus number 2 seed in the final.
You can see the rankings here, the table, how these 2 teams finished. Go ahead and look at the Gators at the top, 8 wins, 1 loss, and the Ducks right below them with 8 wins and 2 losses, 1 extra game played for the Ducks. You can look at the plus minuses of both teams very efficient in the 120 points in the plus range. Shortly, we're going to have the captains walking out for the coin toss. But what can we expect to see from the Ducks on either side of the ball here, Sam?
Well, I think they're a very physical unit. They've got good depth for a Colts team, so we should be able to see a good hard-hitting game from start to finish.
Without a doubt. And I think on the UTS side, you can expect more of the Gridiron New South Wales standard of airing the ball out and going with the more spread style offense, whereas the Ducks will most of the time employ a tight end but will throw the ball out as well. We'll go ahead and take a look here at the coin toss. The captains exchange handshakes.
Yeah, let's go.
Captains for either team, the UTS side, number 28, that is Blake Morgan Monk. Number 23, Ben Sherratt. Number 32, Edward Hakeem. And number 5, Damon Rowland.
For the Ducks, you've got so number 6, David Baskett. Number 16, Cameron Lever. Number 76, Edison Jamsek. And number 42, Jacob Betta.
Looks like the Ducks have won the toss here, and they're going to like to take the ball first.
So put your backs to your ends. What are you going to do, guys? Japan have won the toss. Elected to receive. Ends and Sean, kick off in 2 minutes, guys.
So as you saw, the Ducks have elected to receive the ball first, so they must have a lot of faith in their offense.
Ah! Let's go! Let's go!
I'm on 5,500 wide bounce. Can I change?
As both teams get ready to go here to start off the Kookaburra Bowl, for those that aren't as familiar with American football, it is a sport that is very physical. Both teams will get a chance to move the ball down the field. You get 4 downs to make a first down, or 10 yards. If you don't get 10 yards in 4 plays, the ball is turned over on downs. You can elect to kick the ball on 4th down, and try and change field position over to the other team where they will get to start on their first down. The pitch in America is usually 100 yards. Today we're playing on a 90-yard field. Rugby fields here in Australia, with the way that they're painted and the length of the field goal posts from one side to the other, will force us to employ a 90-yard field today. A lot of emotion here from the UTS sideline. It should be a good game as they take the field and they will send their kickoff team out.
Coming to you currently. Tom, you can start speaking now for me, right?
Yep.
Today, picking members at umpires.
Tom, you're right. Tom, you're right.
David Shadowbank still looking to start back from the very first go of
It'll be interesting to see what type of kickoff the Gators implement here. There's a lot of space in the middle of the field, so they might try a shorter kick and catch the Ducks off guard.
Yeah, this is an unorthodox kick return formation for sure. Usually that front line you're going to have at least 4 guys, maybe 5 up there just in case the Gators kick something short, but looks like the Ducks only have 3 here. We'll see what UTS decides to do.
Gone deep from 23. Fielded by what looks to be number 31. And a great tackle from the coverage team from the Gators.
So as the Ducks take the field, we'll see what they come out in here first. What kind of formation they will employ, as expected. Looks like we got a trips formation and tight end to the right.
So a bit of trickery from the Ducks to start. A nice gain from number 6 there. Looks to be a gain about 5 yards down the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of times throughout the year, you put in these little gadget plays here and there throughout the season. You never really use them. But you get to a grand final like this, and now's the time where there is no next game. Now is the time where you got to pull out those plays, run everything you got in the playbook, and try and catch the other team off guard. And what better play to do it than the first one?
So again, we're seeing that trips to the right look. Great block from number 11 out there. A good physical run from number 43 down the right-hand side for a big gain. That'll really set the tone for the Ducks offense.
Yeah, we expected a physical game, and off the first 2 plays, you can tell the excitement and energy on both sidelines is definitely up there. Now we see the tight end move over to the left side of the formation.
Had a strong rump out the middle there, but looks like no gain. Well defended by the Gators there. They rallied to the ball well and made a good tackle.
Yeah, the sacrifice you bring when you put a tight end on the end of the line of scrimmage there is you tend to bring another defender into the box on defense, and with that extra defender, you got to make sure he's accounted for in the running game. Otherwise, it's going to be tough to run the ball.
That's an unfortunate play there. Number 46 probably wished he could have that one back. Would have been a big completion for a first down there.
Yeah, it looked like he was open over the middle, but UTS defender just got there in time to disrupt the pass just enough to cause the incompletion. So we'll have 3rd and 10 here coming up for the Ducks. Expect a pass on this play, maybe a screen.
throwing it deep, open receiver, and he's caught it. It's a great completion, great ball from number 6, and number 46 brought it in with both feet in bounds. Obviously, we're playing college rules here, so only 1 foot is needed in bounds, but always good to get 2 in.
Yeah, they go to the smash play to the right. You'll have a receiver underneath and 1 receiver over the top, and they're just reading that flat defender. If he sits on that underneath, he's going to throw the deep ball, and there was nobody there over on the sideline to make that play. Wide open receiver for the first down.
And that is a touchdown to the Ducks. A great opening drive. Number 6, Lachlan Bignell, runs it in on a scramble. He saw the pressure coming from, I believe it was number 5 from the Ducks, from the Gators, and he avoided that well and ran it in for about a 15-yard run, I believe.
Yeah, it's tough at this level on defense. A lot of times you're going to play man-to-man. You're going to have to keep somebody with an eye on the quarterback. Otherwise, if you get all of your defensive backs with their backs turned to the ball, covering in man-to-man, you leave a gap open, and the quarterback took advantage of it there.
Looks like the Ducks are setting up to go for 2 here as well. A nice completion over the middle to number 46. He looks to be the go-to receiver from the early parts of the game here. So that is the Ducks up 8-0.
You'll see the 2 drags, 1 at the front of the end zone, 1 at the back of the end zone. Quarterback just reads who's covered high or low and makes a good decision there. Ducks off to a hot start here. Opening drive touchdown. We saw a lot of Lachlan Bignall, and we saw a lot of Jack Crouch on that drive. And that could be something that we can expect throughout the remainder of this one.
It'll be interesting to see how the Gators respond to that. Now, obviously, first drive touchdowns are always hard to give up, so it'll be good to see how they respond and bounce back on offense.
A lot of times these games are decided by what are called explosive plays, the ones that go for 20 or more. And on that play, on that drive alone, it looked like the Ducks, I think, had maybe 2 or 3 of their own explosive plays that kept that drive going. They had the big one on 3rd down, and then the touchdown run by Bignall. And those big explosive plays are things that UTS defense is going to have to limit if they want to be successful in this one.
Deep kick for number 17, fielded by number 1. And that's a good return, up to about the 41-yard line. So that's great field position to start this opening drive for the Gators. That was Dylan Thomas on the return.
Well, I mentioned the explosive plays, but another factor in these games is often special teams. Who can get those stops on the 2-point conversions? Who can get those big returns and set up great field position like this, almost at midfield to start this drive for UTS as they come out in a bunch formation.
Looking for a run on that left side. There's good space there. Good run from number 26. The ball has come out. And that is a fumble recovered by the Ducks. A wild turn of events here. On the first play for the UTS Gators, they look to have fumbled the ball.
It looks like we're going to have a discussion here. That ball might have come out after a knee was down or an elbow was down.
And it's confirmed the turnover on the very first play of the Gators offense. And that's really going to be a low blow for them, having conceded on the first drive.
Well, Sam, we continue to mention the difference makers in these big games, but one I haven't mentioned yet, and you'll see it here, as we concede, does that ball come out? Hard to tell from that angle.
Very hard to tell from that angle.
But turnovers, that's the other one. Who can win the turnover battle? Who can force the other team to make mistakes? Early on in this game, momentum, Ducks.
Nothing going there for number 6. Looked to pump fake to the left. Maybe a designed QB run up the middle, but yeah, nothing going there. A loss of 1 yard on the play.
Yeah, and Big Nolly, we've already seen in this game, he's a threat to run. So on that defensive side for UTS, they did a really good job on that play, the defensive ends, containing that quarterback, keeping him in the pocket, giving him nowhere to go.
The Gators will be really after a stop here to try and halt the momentum the Ducks have got. Pass over the middle, dropped, well covered by number 7 on the Gators. That is Blake Gads.
Yeah, it looked like that same play that they came to in the first drive. That was open and dropped. Went back to it here. They're getting that one-on-one over there with Crouch and Gotts, and that might be a matchup that we come back to throughout the course of this one.
Incomplete. Again, looking deep out of Ducks there. Lachlan Bignell seems to have a good enough arm to try and spread out the Ducks, the Gators defense. So why not? Especially early in the game and off advantageous field position from the turnovers.
Without a doubt. And you can take a look at the UTS defense. They're playing a lot of man coverage. They don't have a free safety back deep. And oftentimes those are the times where you got to take advantage of the lack of free safety and take those shots downfield.
So 4th and 11 now. Looks like we're going to have a punt. Slow snap. Looks like a bit of a shanked punt, but still goes a fair way, and that'll be the Gators will get the ball on their own 24-yard line.
That's a big stop from UTS. You come out, you're amped up before the game. The Ducks win the toss. They elect to receive. They score on the opening drive. You get the ball in on the first play. You fumble it. Getting a stop there to stop that momentum from the Ducks is exactly what UTS needed, and we'll see if they can piece together a drive here.
Again, UTS coming out in that tight formation. Looks like they've gone to the same play. The
And
ball is
ball's
out again. Nervy start from number 26, Cameron Streeter, but luckily recovered his own fumble there.
You can see Streeter coming over to the sideline. He's disappointed himself. This is a kid who is heart and soul of this UTS offense. He doesn't make a lot of these mistakes. Just a big game oftentimes will change the mindset of a player going into it, and you can see that may have had an effect here. We'll see an unbalanced formation here.
A great stop from the Ducks defense there. Again, maybe a gain of maybe 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, they really stacked up the right side of that offensive line to try and get some extra numbers in the running game, and the Ducks did a really good job fighting through their gaps, getting into the backfield and making the tackle.
It's 3rd and 9 now for the Gators offense. Expect a pass maybe. We know that number 4 can throw the ball, so it'll be interesting to see who his targets are. And that is a completion, and it looks to be just enough for the first down there.
See where they spot it. Yeah, they go to that unbalanced look after running one time. They come back to it.
And that is a first down.
Fake the same run that they ran the play before, and they find the tight end releasing out on the corner route, and makes a great play there for the first down.
The Gators are now looking at a spread formation here. QB drops back, throws it deep. And that is completed. A great catch from number 25, Liam Brown.
Yeah, the Ducks employed a cover 3 zone there. The way to beat the cover 3, well, it's simple. Throw 4 guys deep into those 3 zones and find the one that's open. They throw the seam there right in front of the safety. Would have liked to see the safety come up and be a little more aggressive playing that one. But a great throw and a great catch for the move the chains.
Back to a tight formation now for the Gators.
See the Gators going a bit of tempo here.
Run to the right. Not very well blocked. Big contact there from the running back number 2. Minimal gain on the play.
Yeah, we've seen the Gators make a bit of a substitution there in the backfield. Those 2 early fumbles from Streeter.
Well, end of the first quarter, the Ducks are up 8-0. And it's been an entertaining first quarter. We had a good touchdown, good drive from the Ducks. Also a couple of nervy moments for the Gators, but they look like they're piecing together a really good drive.
No doubt. And offensively, minus that 1 trick play, it's been about what we've expected. UTS airing it out, the Ducks with that tight end formation. Both teams have been able to move the ball a bit. UTS with the 1 turnover has been the difference on the scoreboard, but should be, as we continue moving forward, should be a fun game, and we'll expect to see some adjustments made on both sides of the ball from these coaching staffs.
They have to move the ball with the exact same position, the same hash mark, but on the opposite side of the field. So the Gators will have the ball. Second down.
Ball set, ready to go here for the second quarter.
Second and what looks to be 2nd and 6 for the Gators. Oh, and it's opened up on the right-hand side for number 2 after a great cut in the backfield. Tackle made by number 16 for the Ducks, Cameron Lever.
Yeah, and as a defensive coordinator for the Ducks, you just got to be grinding your teeth on that one. They had him tackled in the backfield for a loss of yards, and he was able to shake out of it and pick up a first down. That's a rough one.
Not sure what's going on here. Bit of a broken play for the Gators.
There will be some laundry on the play, though. I think the defense was offsides on that one.
Yeah, so in the NFL, if you get a defensive foul or defensive foul is still playing on, so the referees throw their yellow flags to signal that there has been a penalty on the play.
So the Ducks a little eager on that one.
The referees will discuss it and announce what it actually is to the audience.
That'll move the Gators up 5 yards. We'll see it here. Yeah, just the 2 interior defensive linemen there jumping before the ball was snapped. A lot of teams will design these on 2 and on 3 plays to try and get those offsides on the defense as UTS takes a snap.
Also a run to the right for number 2. A good gain on the play.
Yeah, that's going to be a face mask.
On that previous play, there was a 5-yard defensive false start penalty.
It's a good outside run there by UTS following the penalty. It will be a face mask on the Ducks, but this close to the end zone, that might be a 2 or 3 yard penalty with half the distance. It will, however, give UTS a first down.
First and goal for the Gators offense now. And it looks to be maybe on the 2 yard line, so they're going to hope to try and punch it in here. Wildcat formation, 26 is in as the QB. Design QB run. A long run, but doesn't appear to be any gain on the play.
Yeah, that's a really good job on the Ducks defensive end and following the flow of that run, keeping them in front of them and just riding them all the way to the sideline. It's interesting, we've seen a lot of this bunch formation from UTS, which is usually a spread formation offense, and maybe trying to come up with something a little bit different for this grand final game that the Ducks haven't seen before.
QB number 4 is back in for the Gators. But 3 running backs in the backfield now, so a real heavy set here. Give it to the big man up the middle. He's pumping them legs, and that is a touchdown. Touchdown by number 18, Abraham Netzler. A great churning run up the middle. He kept his legs going, and that's all you want on the goal line.
Yeah, they bring in the heavy set. And what do? They run it right up the gut with their big fella. Love to see those legs churning. Love to see him driving through contact without that second effort, I don't know if they score. Again, for the Ducks, that drive was defined by missed tackles in the backfield, and they probably could have had that drive stopped a few plays earlier.
Gators going for 2 here with the same formation. Bit of misdirection on the handoff, and it looks like he's going to walk it into the end zone. And that is a tie game.
Yeah, they fake the outside run to the right, and you'll see Streeter just delay a bit, come back around to the left side on the counter play, and had the Ducks fooled for sure on that one. Nobody within 10 to 15 yards of Streeter as he waltzed into the end zone.
Yeah, really good play call there off the back of a nice hard run up the middle to the number 18. And here we go again. It's a replay of the touchdown. Just a great effort. Good blocking from number 54. And they just couldn't bring the big man down.
Again, the Ducks with the 3 men up front. See if UTS decides to take advantage of that at all. The one thing that you do risk if you don't end up getting that onside kick, you're risking giving the ball to the Ducks on your own half of the field, which some coaches are all right with taking that risk, and some coaches would rather just kick it deep and play the field position. And that's what we'll do here for UTS.
Fielded by number 16. He's got a seam up that right-hand side. Oh, it's a 46, sorry. And a nice hit by number 23. Well, that's a great return. Looks to get the ball around his own 40 there. So good field position for the Ducks to start this drive, and hopefully they'll respond quickly with a touchdown.
Yeah, well, that was a great kick, and I mentioned field position. With a kick that ends up all the way down to the goal line, you'd like to see as a special teams coach your coverage team getting down there a little bit quicker and maybe getting them within the 20-yard line. But the Ducks do a really good job on special teams there, moving it all the way down to the 40.
Short pass completed to number 25, but way to rally to the ball by number 26 there, number 28, sorry.
You'll see it here, the kick return. A couple of good moves there in the back, shakes a couple of UTS defenders, and springs them for quite a few extra yards. After no gain on first down, we'll have 2nd and 10.
Whistle gone there. Number 6 looks to maybe stay down here. Looks to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, that's the quarterback, Lachlan Bignall, a key component to this offense. That is an injury that you just hold your breath on if you're on the Ducks sideline, and he does not look to be in good shape after this one. As we'll see the replay, he pulls the ball and keeps it, and I think that right leg just gets tucked underneath him.
Yeah, looks to be a nasty one there for number 6.
Yeah, at a grand final like this, those are the types of injuries you hate to see. Lachlan with a great first drive for the Ducks. Marched the team down the field, scored the opening touchdown in this grand final. You know, these kids, they work hard all season to get to this point. It's a shame to see an injury on a stage like this.
Yeah, it really is a shame. But now the Ducks will be thinking who is the next man up and who's the guy that could possibly replace number 6 here and give him a fighting chance of coming out on top in this game. It's been a great start from the Ducks on both sides of the ball. So it'll be interesting to see how they adapt.
So we take a look at the schedule here for the day. We've got the Kookaburra Bowl going on right now. That's a fun one to say. That is the Gators and the Ducks. Coming up after that, we've got the women's championship game, the Opal Bowl, between the Northern Sydney Rebels and the UNSW Raiders. That'll get started at 2 o'clock. And after that, we have the men's grand final. That is the Waratah Bowl between, again, the UNSW Raiders and the Northern Sydney Rebels.
A great slate of games. Number 6 looks to be in a lot of pain there, so it's a real shame to see in such a big occasion.
Yeah, he'll go straight back to the locker room and get that checked out, treated. Hopefully he can return to the sideline at least and watch his team compete for the rest of this game. But for now, the sub is looks like number 11. Number 11, Mitchell Price. And what do they do on the first play when their quarterback gets hurt? They air it out.
Throw it deep. Throw it deep to that man, number 46 again. Jack Crouch seems to be emerging as the go-to receiver for this Ducks offense.
He threw that one pretty deep, too. For a guy who doesn't start at the quarterback position, it's a pretty impressive first play. We'll see if they keep going back to that pass or if they employ more of a running game from here on out.
It's 4th and 14, so expect a punt. Blocked punt from the Gators. They've got to get on that ball now. He could run it in. And he's taken down on about the 12-yard line. That is a huge play for the Gators. Gives them excellent field position going into the second drive. And I think it's fair to say the momentum has well and truly swung the Gators' way.
Yeah, without a doubt. We mentioned it before, the special teams. Big difference maker in these types of games. And off the edge there, UTS was able to get into the backfield, came on hard. 2 guys actually in the backfield, and the big blocked punt, great return, and that'll land them on the 7-yard line for a 1st and goal moving in.
A lot of hype coming from the UTS sideline right now.
Bunch formation again in the Wildcat.
Run left from number 26, and that is a touchdown. And the UTS Gators have taken the lead. They've well and truly capitalized on that field position, only taking them 1 play to get in. And there's that man again, Cameron Streeter.
Yeah, it looks like Streeter settled down after his 2 early fumbles in this one. He's found the end zone. He's found it on a 2-point conversion. And that's just a good play design by UTS. They went to that Wildcat formation, ran a sweep earlier, and they come back on the counter up the middle on that one. See if they keep going to that Wildcat later on in the game.
Incomplete on the 2-point conversion, so that leaves the score at 14-8 in favor of the Gators.
As you can see here, touchdown play. They run that Wildcat. That left tackle does a good job kicking out the end, opens up a big hole on the left side. I'm not sure if that play was designed to go to the right side or the left side, but it looked like Streeter was looking right, found that hole on the left side, had good enough vision to cut it back, and found the end zone.
Yeah, that's common in college football. With only 9 men on the field, there's lots of open space, so if you've got good athletes who are quick and can utilize that space, then you're generally going to have a good time.
Yeah, it really is a matchup game at this level. Who's the best athlete on your team? Who's the best athlete on the other team? If we can find our best athlete on our team on offense, get him the ball in open space, and if we can shut down the best athlete on the other team, usually that's a recipe for success at this level.
Looks to be about 3.5 minutes left in the half. And the Gators are going to kick the ball back to the Ducks. Great kick there. Fielded again by the Ducks, number 46. And that the ball looks to be stripped there, but there could be an inadvertent whistle. Be interesting to see what the officials call here, because it looked like an early whistle to me.
Yeah, it was a bit of an early whistle, but we'll see if they mark it as a forward progress. He was wrapped up. It was a little early, but the referees decide that his forward momentum was stopped and he was being driven backward, then this ball could end up with the Ducks.
It looks to be a clean strip to me, but it'll be interesting to see what these officials call.
For those unfamiliar with the rules of American football, you don't necessarily have to be down on the ground to be marked down. If you're wrapped up by the defense and being pushed back, that is good enough to be considered down. It's called ruling by forward progress. You get the ball from your furthest marked forward spot. So let's see what they rule here. Looks like by the reading of the lips, he says inadvertent whistle. UTS reaction on the sideline tells me it's going to be their ball. Let's listen in.
We have an inadvertent whistle after the turnover. The result will be taken by UTS. First down.
And again, that is a huge play by the UTS special teams. Back-to-back huge plays, giving them great field position again. And this will be a real dagger to the Ducks if they go in with another score before the half.
Without a doubt, and you can tell by the body language of the Ducks. A lot of slumped shoulders, a lot of heads down. As a coaching staff, you got to maintain that positive energy on the sideline. Keep these guys' heads in the game, otherwise this could get ugly.
Run left to number 2. Not much going there. Cuts it outside, but well defended by the Ducks there.
It's actually a good play by number 17, Ben Paul, on the Ducks, keeping that play from springing into the outside.
Number 54 of the offense.
We have a flag down for holding as well.
Repeat first
So
down.
that's a costly 10 yards for the Gators.
We see 17 here. He's the end man. He's responsible for contain. He beats the running back out there. He does get reached at the end, but by making number 2 hesitate just that little bit, he provided enough time for his linebacker to scrape over the top, make the tackle for minimal gain.
So now 1st and 20 for the Gators. They've got a lot of ground to cover. Short pass, incomplete to number 25 there. Went to that play earlier in the game, completed for not a lot of gain, but they went to it again and it's incomplete this time.
Yeah, that's Liam Brown out there in the flat, and I'm sure Heptonstall is going to want that one back because he was wide open, and that's a pretty easy throw there, one that he probably doesn't miss very often.
Looking deep now. And you hate to see that. Ball in and out of the hands of number 16 on the Ducks defense. That's Cameron Lever.
Yeah, they run a little fake screen out to the side, both sides actually, and they release that inside receiver down the seam into that cover 3 defense that the Ducks run. And as a safety, you're playing in between those 2 seams, you're reading the quarterback's eyes, you're going up, trying to make that interception, and sometimes that ball just doesn't stick.
Yeah, real unfortunate one for the Ducks defense there. A massive let-off for the Gators. 3rd and 20 now, so we expect a similar play of chucking it deep. And that's another incompletion for the Gators. Maybe they're just getting a bit too relaxed with how well the game's swinging in their favor.
Yeah, a couple of drop balls and an incomplete pass.
Potential 4th down territory here, though, so we could see him go for it again.
Late in the half, up by a score. Momentum seemingly on your side. I think I'd punt this one, take my chances, especially if you're getting the ball back after halftime.
And that's exactly what's happened. Good kick into the corner there.
That's a great punt.
Great punt. Really going to back the Ducks offense up on their own 6-yard line there. Great field position.
Yeah, you got to weigh out the risk and reward on that one. That's 4th and 20. That's going to be a tough conversion to make. Might as well let our punter go out there and try and pin him deep, and that's exactly what UTS does. It's going to be a hard task here for the Ducks to move pretty much the length of the entire field and see if they can get some points before halftime.
Just a great showing from the Gators special team so far, and you know a lot of people don't credit special teams enough, but it's a massive part of the game. And they're doing it well today. A nice run up the middle from number 24. A great way to start the drive there, backed up on their own 6. Potential flag down on the field though. Could be something to do with the block we saw at the end of the play there from the Ducks wide receiver.
Yeah, first down on your own 5-yard line. You can take the chance to throw it, but if you get a holding in the end zone, if you take a sack, you end up getting a safety. So the Ducks elect to run the ball there, and they end up springing a pretty good run, but we'll see if it's coming back.
Sorry. Personal foul. Number 31 of the defense. Late hit. 31 of the offense. That's a late hit. It'll be the down will count. Half distance to the goal. First down. We have timeout. Nepean. That's their first team charge timeout.
So the ruling there, since that's a dead ball foul, the Ducks picked up the first down on that play, so they will still get first down after it, and we'll see here if we can see any foul play on the late hit. 31 is the guy to watch out of the screen there. So we couldn't see it on that one, but with that happening after the play counts. They picked up the first down, and then we will get the 15 yards, half the distance to the goal since they're inside the 30 and forced after the play, and it'll still be first down. So that 20-yard gain will end up pretty much being a 5-yard gain after it's all said and done, but the Ducks will have a first down. Let's see if we can see the penalty here. 31.
Should be able to see it here. 31 there.
Yeah, that's borderline. I'm not sure what when the whistle was blown on that one, but in a game like this where everybody's fighting as hard as they can, I'd like to see him let it play a little bit on that one.
Go to the same run there, number 24. With definitely not as successful as the last run, but it looked to be a gain of about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, that's Watkins there, and it looks like the Ducks, who have been airing it out most of the first half, might be content to just run the clock out here and take it to the half, regroup. They've lost their quarterback in this game. Momentum has swung towards UTS. Maybe they'd be happy to just go to the locker room, make some adjustments, and come up with a game plan for the second half.
Looks to be the same play again there. Number 24 stays on his feet well, though. A nice gritty run from number 24 there.
Yeah, it's Watkins again, and
looks like we've got another timeout called by the Ducks offense.
That's their second team charge timeout of the half.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe they were content to take it to halftime, but with a couple of first downs there, one taken back a little bit by the penalty, but another one here, maybe they're going to change their mind. One thing to note, number 6, Lachlan Bignall, the starting quarterback, is now running over towards the Ducks sideline. And he looks to be moving pretty good on that previously injured leg. See if he'll come back into this game later on, or, well, he's jogging over to the huddle.
Looks like he's going straight back in.
There he is. You see him join the huddle there.
And he's been swiftly sent away by the coach. So doesn't look like we'll see number 6 on this next drive, but you never know. Actually, no, change that. He's back in. Number 6 is back in, so this could be massive for the Ducks. They could, with 47 seconds left in the time, they could drive this ball down the field.
You can tell he does have a noticeable limp. He probably won't be as quick on his feet, but for somebody, a team that might need to throw the ball here, having your starting quarterback is definitely a benefit. They will hand it off, though. Again, that's Watkins.
Another good run by that man. And that looks like another first down there.
Yeah, late in the half, it looks like UTS is trying to send some guys deep. They're expecting them to throw the ball here, but with sending all of your guys, defenders, deep, it's going to open up some lanes in the running game.
Drop back by number 6. And that is completed to number 43, Ryan Mulvaney.
Unbelievable. Big Null off one leg, throwing it over the middle, finding his receivers. The Ducks are moving the ball here late in the half.
Be interesting to see the time left. Looks like a screenplay.
You got to try and get that one out of bounds if you're Watkins. He's made some great plays here on this drive, but he catches that one in the flat. He gets tackled in bounds, and the Ducks are going to have to use their last timeout.
We've got another timeout now. I'm interested to see how much time is left on the clock. Obviously, it says 0 for us here, but it'll be interesting to see whether they may only have one play left.
So we're getting word that is about 7 seconds. The clock is kept on the field by the officials. So we have unofficial, but getting word that is about 7 seconds left here in the first half.
Probably only enough time to run one more play for the Ducks, so it'll be interesting to see what they go to. They could. I don't think the quarterback has the arm to make it close enough to the end zone, so we could see a similar play to the last play and see a bit of a screen set up to number 24.
We're getting word here 2.7 seconds, so this is probably going to be the last play here of the half. We get whistles here from the white hat. Looks like they're just setting the down marker to the spot of the ball, making sure everyone is in the right spot. Here we go.
Could be a huge play here. Oh, and the ball has come out. He's caught his own fumble there, number 6, but couldn't quite get the ball out in time. You like to see a bit more from your offensive line there. And that should be the half. And it is.
Without a doubt, an interesting and exciting first half of football here at the Kookaburra Bowl. Let's see what the last play of the half here. Steps in to throw it.
Just a great play from the Gators D-line. Way to rally to the ball there.
Yeah, that's Angus Hope off the end with the pressure, causing the forced fumble. And going into halftime, it is the Gators 14, the Ducks 8. So we can see Big Null being helped off by his coach there. Obviously, it took a lot for him after that injury, which looked pretty nasty on the field on the replays. It took a lot for him to go to the locker room, come back out, and try and finish that last drive of the half.
It's definitely been a story of special teams and field position there in this first half. The Gators' special teams have really come to play today. Getting the ball back on numerous occasions in great field position for the Gators, and the offense have managed to capitalize on that, and that's why they're going into the half with the lead.
Without a doubt, and you got to remember the way the game started with the Ducks receiving the kickoff, going down, marching it down the field, recovering a fumble on the first play for UTS. It's just a testament to the Gators keeping their heads in the game and their fight will to continue, and that next play mentality, being able to come back and go into halftime with the lead.
So yeah, we're gonna take a break now for the half, and we'll join back as the game starts. So yeah, it's been a great half of football, and can't wait for another one.
Welcome back to Campbelltown Stadium, where we are set here to start the second half of the Kookaburra Bowl shortly as teams make their final warm-ups before we get started. It's been a tale of, I guess, 2 quarters in a sense that the Ducks came out hot. They elected to receive that first kickoff, went down, a couple of big plays. Lachlan Bignall with the first touchdown of the game, followed by the 2-point conversion, got the Ducks off to a good start. UTS came out after that, fumbled their first play from scrimmage, but since then it's kind of been all UTS, and with the Ducks suffering a big injury to Bignall, it'll be an interesting second half, to say the least.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that Bignall came out for the second half warm-up and it looked like he had his ankle strapped, but still walking very gingerly on that leg. It'll be interesting to see just how they adjust to that. If they obviously he's not going to be as mobile as he was in the first half, so maybe expect more passing out of the Ducks offense.
Yeah, it really is a hit to the Ducks offense too, because Bignall is a bit of a dual threat. We saw him in the first half improvise a bit on his feet, take off, score that first touchdown, and if he's not going to be able to move around as well on that foot, that could be something that UTS takes advantage of on the defensive end, sending him some more pressure, making him roll out and use that injured leg. Take a look at the slate of games here that we've got throughout the rest of the day. It is halftime right now of the Kookaburra Bowl. You see the Gators and Ducks 14-8. That'll get started here shortly, the second half. The Opal Bowl set to kick off at 2 o'clock. That is the women's grand final. That is the Northern Sydney Rebels against the UNSW Raiders, the 1 versus the 3 seed. And later tonight at 5 o'clock, we've got the Wartaw Bowl between the UNSW Raiders and the Northern Sydney Rebels.
Yeah, it really is a great slate of games. The games later in the day should really be exciting. I expect a high-scoring game, especially in the men's final, between the Raiders and the Rebels. And it's just interesting to see that both the women's final and the men's final are the Rebels versus the Raiders. It's good to see that both programs have got such strong teams in both divisions.
No doubt, and I think there may be a little bit of a contrast between that women's game and the men's game. The women's game, I'd expect a bit more physicality, 2 hard-hitting teams. The Rebels, with some big runners on their side of the field. They employ a really heavy ground and pound type of run game, with the Raiders as well having a stifling defense. And looking at the men's game, you're going to see 2 teams that like to air it out. They're not much of a 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of team. They're more the team that's going to spread it out and throw the big bombs on both sides. So a bit of a contrast between the 2 divisions, but both certainly expected to be fun ones.
The teams look like they're just finishing up the final huddles and should get underway here soon. The Gators will receive the ball, I believe, going into the second half, so a great opportunity for them to add to their lead.
Loud and proud. 1, 2, 3. Yes!
Yeah, if you're the coach for the Ducks at halftime, my message to the guys is just kind of keep doing what you're doing. A couple of times there, they had guys in the backfield, right, and they could have got tackles for loss on those 2 touchdown drives, but just blocking and tackling, the fundamentals of the game, that's what you got to work on here in the second half, making sure that when we got those opportunities to wrap guys up for negative yardage, we've got to capitalize. We've got to finish those tackles. In big games like this, the nerves, whatever it might be, sometimes you get guys out of position, but really, at the end of the day, it's just another game, and you got to take care of your job, and if you get those opportunities to make those big plays, you got to make them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that absolutely kicking off this second half, the Gators have set out their kick return team. I'm sure the coaches will all have set.
The Gators look like they're sending number 1 and number 8 maybe back to return there. So 2 athletes back near the end zone to return this ball. Wouldn't be surprised if the Ducks tried something a bit tricky here to get momentum back, but deep ball fielded by number 8 there. Made a man miss there. That's a good little run. As the ball has come out, but he's recovered his own fumble again. By number 6, sorry, not number 8. That is Mohammed Tamer.
Yeah, ball security on both sides today has been a little bit suspect. We've seen Streeter for UTS fumble the ball a couple of times. We've seen UTS throw a couple of near interceptions, and we see it again there with the ball coming out. I'm sure in the practice leading up to this, for both sides defensively, creating those turnovers was a big point of emphasis, and you can see that displaying itself here.
Run up the middle there. Great yard after contact there. Just a good fight from number 18. Looks like a flag coming out there, possible taunting from number 18. And we also have a man down, so that'll be a timeout on the officials.
Yeah, that's Abraham Netzler. When they go to that 3-back formation, that big heavy set formation, he's that tailback, and they like to give the ball to him and ground and pound it. But got a little excited there after the play, and I think that might cause his team about 15 yards. See the replay here. Takes that hand up off the middle. Good hole created by the offensive line. Breaks a few tackles, keeps that feet pumping, fights for that extra yardage. And
yeah, real tough runner is number 18.
looks like we have an injured duck on the field. Bit back behind the play, it looks like.
Yeah, I think it was the guy who attempted to make that first tackle who got bounced off. But yeah, doesn't look great. The man is still down, and both teams look to be leaving the field.
Looks like that's number 16, Cameron Lever, captain of this Ducks defense. Looks to be a bit shaken up, but he is walking off on his own power, which is good to see.
Always good to see a player walking on.
Still waiting on signal for the penalty. As we look in now to the whiteout.
We have a dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 18 of the offense, taunting. That's a 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, so that will be on Netzler for the taunting after the run. Just got to keep that in check. Can't be getting those costly penalties in this game. I know the emotion of playing in a championship game. It's tough to keep that emotion in sometimes, but maybe after that play, he should have just walked back to the huddle.
Yeah, it's just a silly mistake, and he'll be regretting that 100%. So now we have what looks to be about second down and 15, 16. So a lot of yardage to get. Hand off to number 2. Run to the right, good stiff arm. Keeps going there, he's moving his feet, and that is pretty much all of that 15, 16 gotten back right away. That's a great play from the running game of UTS.
Yeah, it is a good play. They've been trying to pound that ball on the heavy set with Netzler, and they go there to the outside play, fake it up the middle. But again, with the Ducks, it comes down to making that tackle. You have a guy there in the backfield. Yards after contact have been killing the Ducks in this game. They come back to the heavy set here. Let's see.
Third and one now.
They might want to go up the middle.
Pulled by number 23 there. Looks like he definitely made that 1 yard, so that was a good first down play there. Bit of misdirection with the guy lined up so far back. Maybe expecting a dive up the middle, but nice play design from UTS.
The UTS Gators from getting their first down, bringing up first down and 10 ball on the 36.
Yeah, that's Ben Sherratt there, coming off the left side. He's captain of this UTS team. Big physical ball carrier there. picks up the first down on the left side. Heavy set again.
Looks like a potential false start there from the UTS offense.
Yeah, I think that's that tight end on
number
the right.
26 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains
Although they're
first
going to
down.
attack Streeter on the false start. Definitely looked like motion there. Maybe a couple of guys moving a little too early.
Yeah, a little bit over eager from the Gators there.
Now, the Gators suffered a personal foul earlier in this drive and made up for it. We'll see if they can do that again here.
1st and 15. It's interesting to see that we have a different quarterback in for the Gators this half. They were rolling with number 4, Max Heptonstall, for the first half, and now they've gone for number 23, Ben Sherratt. So, not sure the reasoning behind that, but I'm sure it's well justified from the UTS coaching staff.
Yeah, with Heptonstall on the sideline, I'm not sure if Sherratt's usually a gunslinger or not, but you see him here rolling out to his right. Just misses his intended target there with Streeter.
Bit of a broken play here from the Gators. Messed up the handoff there, which could have been costly, but at the end of the day, just lucky there was no fumble there, and they've taken another 3-yard loss, but could have been much worse.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to go back to that counter play that they ran on their 2-point conversion earlier on in the game, where Streeter was able to walk into the end zone. But a bit of miscommunication in the backfield, some people not on the same page, and perhaps a new quarterback with Sherratt in the game. Obviously not everyone on the same page there in the backfield. So that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Another run play on that right-hand side to number 2, and that's a big hit from number 34. Well played from that Ducks defense.
Yeah.
And that's a big stop to start the second half.
Liam McGuire coming up from that second level, making the stop at the line of scrimmage. That's a huge stop for the Ducks here. Kicking off to UTS to start this half, getting that first opening drive stop, getting the ball back, and we'll see here UTS if they can pin them deep or if the Ducks can get good field position again like they have been throughout this game.
It was an interesting play call to go for the run. Maybe they just don't trust the arm of the new QB for the second half.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision because I don't think there's really much wrong with Heptonstall. He's on the sideline. He looks to be a little bit upset. Coaches are trying to calm him down a little bit. But it's an interesting decision for sure to go with that heavy set, and we'll see number 23, Ben Sherratt, come into the sideline, getting some coaching from his assistant coaches. But nonetheless, the Ducks take over on downs, and it will be Bignall in the game to start here the second half. You see that right foot spatted up with the green tape. See what he can do here in the second. Starting off with a throw.
And that is a nice play to open up the second half for the Ducks. Just a simple dump-off pass, number 43, but a lot of yards after the catch there, so a great play.
Yeah, we talked about getting athletes in space, and that's Mulvaney. They swing him out to the right, and Bignall, who is on 1.5 legs here, does a good job of getting that thing out there to the flat quick to his athlete in space and lets him do the rest of the work.
Run up the middle to number 24 again. A good, tough run from number 24 there, and that's another great gain to what looks to be about a 9-yard, 10-yard gain on the play. So
yeah, he's picking up where he left off on that last drive of the first half. That's Watkins as he comes out of the game now in a substitution, but he ran the ball hard on that last drive before halftime, and had the clock not expired before halftime, who knows, we might have seen more of him and potentially would have seen him in the end zone, but comes out here to start out the second half running the ball just as hard.
low snap, recovered well by number 6. Looks to be looks to me like he's done just enough to get that first down on second and inches. So, yeah, just a nice play. Keep the chains moving, and that's exactly what you need on the opening drive in the second half.
Yeah, UTS was able to get some pressure in his face, but they had Haas dragging over the middle, and Bignall did a good job to get rid of that ball quick, find that crossing route, and pick up enough, just enough to get that first down. See a tight end to the left here.
Goes to that number 24 again, and that inside run to the left. Again, tough running, keeps his legs moving. For what looks like a pretty small guy, he's definitely a physical runner.
Yeah, and if you're Nepean, you're more than happy picking up 5 or 6 yards a carry against this UTS defense, who has been one of the better defenses throughout the Colts division of this GNSW league.
So we're looking at about 2nd and 5 now.
It's the first time we've seen an empty backfield for the Ducks.
Given to the motion guy. That's a good gain. Another first down for the Ducks offense, and they are just marching the ball down the field.
So they go empty. They motion that slot receiver across. They toss it to him on a little shovel on the end around, and they're able to reach the end there, get around, pick up a good chunk of yardage to get that first down. That could be something that's a setup play for another play that they go empty on later on in the game. We'll keep an eye on that.
Inside run to number 24 again, and that looks to be sprung. He looks like, I don't think anyone's going to catch him. Never mind, they caught him.
He was indeed caught, but we do have a flag on the play in the area of holding. The way that the referee is signaling to the white cap.
We have a block at the back, number 55 of the offense. That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
So that's a block in the back on Jason Tuma of the offense, number 55. You can see him give a bit of a shove there on the replay. Flag comes out. But again, if you're Nepean and you're seeing Watkins running the ball like this, he might have to be the go-to guy throughout the rest of this half and the rest of this game.
Well, the long game came back to a long loss, so first down, I noticed the down mark didn't get turned off, so it remains first down 14.
It's like encroachment there from the defense. It's a nice way to just gain 5 yards back from the 10 you just gave up from the block
number 50
in the back.
of the defense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, we saw this in the first half with teams designing those plays where they have a bit of a dummy count on 2, try and draw that defensive line into the neutral zone and snap the ball.
It's a great way to test that discipline.
Oftentimes you can get a free play out of it, but since he touched the center, that play is whistled dead.
Ball got shook deep there from number 6, showing that you can still get the distance with his arm. Just a bit of a wayward pass there, intended to number 46. Is that man again, Jack Crouch. Second and 10 now for the Ducks offense. They've gone to that inside run to number 21 this time, not number 24. Interesting to see that he may have picked up a knock after that long run that got brought back.
That's just a great job by the Ducks offensive line. They pushed the defensive line back on that play 5 or 6 yards, and as a running back, that's just something you love to see. Making your job easy. Just follow those big fellas up front, maybe make a cutback, find an open lane, and drop that shoulder down for a couple of extra yards.
It's quarter time, so into the fourth and final quarter of this game, and it's we definitely have a ball game going into the fourth quarter. There was fears that the Gators could have run away with it coming to the end of the second half, but the Ducks have stuck in there, and it's just a one-score game, especially now number 6 is back in the game, and they've got great field position. Could be an interesting fourth quarter.
No doubt, and that stop for the Ducks on the first drive of the half was a huge one in order to keep the Gators off the board, and our scoreboard now is the same as it was at halftime. No points there in the third, but the Ducks rallying here on offense.
It'll be interesting to see how the players handle the situation. Obviously, the Gators were here last year, and they were the champions last year, so this will be the first time in the club's history if they can go they go back to back on championships. However, the Ducks have never been here, and this will be their first championship if they win this. So it'll be interesting to see how the nerves are playing with them.
Yeah, and as a coaching staff, of course, you're going to have a bit of nerves too. Championship game, the grand final, big stadium, lots of fans, but you got to keep those nerves in check, because a lot of times those nerves will run off on your players and maybe put them in a bad place as well. So,
absolutely.
Looks like we're about ready to start this fourth and final quarter.